Hey, I hope your day is going well. Welcome to today's balance video. Whenever you're ready, you could go ahead and find that nice, comfortable standing position. For today's beginning or introduction, we are going to have our eyes closed for the duration. And just notice where you are before you try to change anything. Where are you as you arrive to today's session? Where is your weight distributed in each of your feet? Are you more on one foot than the other? Are you more to the front of your feet or to the back? Where is your weight right now? Again, you don't need to change anything just yet. Just notice where you are in this moment. And then try to place your weight equally between both your left and your right foot, as well as between your heels and the front of your foot. Just returning your attention to the weight distribution in your feet. I've mentioned this before, but a common thing that I know I did when I began a more mindful practice is when I was asked to notice sort of the sensations in an area or to feel them, I noticed I would often think about these sensations rather than just feeling them, which is totally okay if you find yourself doing that as well. Just acknowledge these thoughts and let them go. And return your attention to the weight distribution in your feet. And then whenever you're ready, you can keep your eyes closed and just turn your head from side to side. So look over your left and then over towards your right. And just keep going back and forth at whatever pace feels comfortable to you. While you are turning your head from side to side, notice how this affects the weight distribution in your feet. Does it change as you turn your head? And then whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes for a second. I just wanted to discuss something briefly before moving on. Whenever in any of my videos or the programs, I say to go into tandem stance, adjust this stance according to the difficulty level you and your body are currently desiring. So, what do I mean by that? Tandem, we'll say, in this variation, or in this line of progressions, is the most difficult. Something that's a bit easier is to spread your feet a little bit from side to side, but to still have that staggered stance. If you want to look at how my feet are currently positioned apart from the front, to have a little bit of that staggered stance with the feet separation, it's going to be a bit easier. And then even easier than that is having your feet together. If we were in person and we were working together on our balance, I would look at sort of how you were doing on each individual activity and then give some suggestions accordingly. But given that we're online, this responsibility sort of lays on you, which is kind of awesome because it will help teach you to tune in to the difficulty that you need, but also help you, I guess, my train of thought just totally left. I don't know. It'll help you tune into whatever. And then whenever you're ready, we could go back into that tandem stance, right foot in front of the left, in whatever variation feels best for you. And then we are going to go ahead and close our eyes. Again, whatever variation works for you. And we are just going to return our attention to our feet and how the weight is distributed. I personally notice in tandem stance, I have a much easier time balancing for whatever reason if more of my weight is located in the front of my foot, in my front foot. Just notice where you find a sense of balance. Right now, you don't have to try to equally distribute your weight, as this is sort of a challenging activity. Instead, see where your weight wants to go to help you remain balanced. Whenever you notice you're getting distracted, just return your attention to the weight distribution in your feet. We can then switch to the other side. So change the foot that is in front. And if you're finding yourself distracted, just return your attention down to your feet. could go ahead and open your eyes, switch to the first tandem position. And for this next one, we're going to keep our eyes open. We're going to put our hands together in front of us. And we are going to track one of our thumbs at a time. So we are going to bring our thumb all the way to the side and then behind us, keeping our gaze on that thumb. Again, find the tandem stance variation that works for you. We are just going to do about 10 repetitions to each side. And then you should go ahead and do the other side. Right. And then you can actually just keep one hand in front and then track your thumb going up towards the ceiling and down towards the ground. And we're going to do this about 10 times. And then if you're over worried about being symmetrical like I sort of am, go ahead and switch sides. And now we are just going to freely follow this thumb. So just move that thumb wherever you would like. Just try to follow it with your gaze. And you can try to move a bit more softly with that arm. See if you can sort of allow it to just move a bit more effortlessly while you're following the thumb. I know that sounds strange. And then you could go ahead and switch your feet. And we'll do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to do my left side first, just tracking my thumb. And if you want to make this exercise more difficult without, or easier without changing the stance of, or the position of your stance, you can change how fast you're moving your arms. So the slower you move your arm while tracking your thumb, the easier it will be. Vice versa. We can switch to the other side. And if you're not being overloaded with stimuli like I sort of am, you can try to check in with your feet and see how they're doing, or your weight distribution is tending to go. And then we can go up and down. And then you can freely move your hand as you track the thumb. Again, trying to move that arm as softly as you can. see if you can allow your arm to control the whole motion. See if you can sort of integrate your arm, your torso, and your legs as one unit, as well as your head, instead of moving your hand and having that be separate from how you are balancing with the rest of your body. And then whenever you're ready, we can begin working on our single leg balance for the week. So for this one, we are going to do a block. So for that, we're going to move our weight all the way over onto one of our feet, pick that other leg up. And today I'm going to ask you to really lightly squeeze all the muscles in your leg. Everything on the front and the back, just give it a light squeeze and hold your foot out in front of you as you're pushing down through that weighted foot. And we're just going to hold this leg in a few different positions. So first out in front of us, and then go out to the side, trying to keep our pelvis facing forward as well as our torso. For today's, I don't want you turning all the way in the direction your leg is going, just face forward. And you can go behind. Only go as far as you're able to without excessively rounding your lumbar spine. Really squeezing our glutes to bring our foot behind rather than arching our back. And then whenever you are ready, you can return that foot to the front. And we're just going to move our legs slowly in this circle or half circle from front to back. I don't know about you, but this is absolutely burning my glutes. All right, and then whenever you're good with that, you can give your legs a little shake out. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So you could go ahead and shift all your weight into one foot, stand up nice and tall, keep your pelvis pointed forward, and you can go and contract all the muscles in your other leg. And point your foot out in front. You can then go ahead, bring your foot to the side, again keeping your pelvis and your torso pointing directly forward. And then you can bring it behind. Again, try not to round that lower back, keeping the core nice and braced while we're also squeezing our glute to bring that foot behind us. And then we could go ahead, bring our foot back to the front in that circular motion and just go back and forth, trying not to move our torso very much. So at the end of the last one, I was really asking you to sort of be loosey-goosey with your whole body. This one I'm asking you to move in a much more rigid position. Both pretty important aspects of balancing. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to move ahead onto today's task known as hinge precisions. I get a lot, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I get a lot of my tasks from John Yuen and his free course called Taskmaster. He does a wonderful job there if you want to check all those out. I'm going to be incorporating them into our program, at least a lot of them, in a way that I think is coherent and gives a little bit more context to you and your situation. But they're fantastic. So for this one, what we're going to do is stand on one foot once again, and we're going to take 3 objects, and this time we're going to place them at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, and as always trying to remain balanced or in control throughout, so not just throwing our weight around, but slowly reaching our object out in front of us and placing it on the ground. My balance is a little tough today. And then once you've done that, you can go back, pick them up again in the same way that you put them down. And once you've done that, you can go ahead, switch over to the other side. And for today's video, I am just going to do 1 round of that task. Feel free to do it up to 5 times in one sort of set. And then all the tandem stuff, the single leg and the tasks, you can do up to, I would say, probably 3 times. So if you would like to do that, you can pause the video now. Otherwise, I'm going to lead us back into our sort of Shavasana. So we are going to return to our standing stance to end this video. And we're going to sort of just, let things go. I said that so strangely. You don't have to try to place your attention anywhere. Just close your eyes and spend some time here. You just spent the last 20 to 30 minutes focusing on improving your balance and becoming a bit more connected to yourself and your body. That's pretty awesome. You've done all the hard work, and you can just let things go a bit. For the time being, you won't often hear people say this, but feel free to let your posture go. And you're just going to stay here for a few minutes. going to go ahead and end the video here, but feel free to stay here as long as you would like. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know how it went. Peace.